Here we go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Zaggertastic stream. It is I, your friend, the one, the only, Z-A single God Zaggard. And I hope you're all having a wonderful morning, noon, night, evening, whatever time it is for you today. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den, my friends. Hello, Tokoyami fan. And it is a wonderful, beautiful start of your week, Monday. I know for some people that's terrible, but I have always loved Mondays. Mondays have always been great for me. It's when some of my favorite shows would have new episodes. It's when I would start my work week, make some good money, feel good about myself, and most importantly, it was the day after the weekend when I would see amazing movies like the one I saw last night, Dune, Part 1. Hello, Lily. Welcome back to the Dragon's Den. Okay, I have this really loud right now. Let me just... There we go. I was listening to some stuff, and so my Spotify for me was super loud. Well, for you guys, it was still around like 50. But anyways, I saw Dune over the weekend. Oh my god, Dune was great. I want to say this is probably my favorite movie of the year so far that I can think of off the top of my head. But I also saw it last night, so this opinion can completely change in the next 12 hours, 24 hours, a month. You know, maybe once Spider-Man comes out, Spider-Man No Way Home, maybe when that one comes out, I'll have a completely different opinion. But Dune was so good. It makes me want to read the books. I think I'm going to start reading the books tomorrow. I think I'm actually going to start reading the Dune books, and I'll just start from the beginning. Because not only was this movie beautiful visually, not only did it sound beautiful, not only was the acting amazing, like everybody just, I believed these characters from the beginning of the movie to the end of this movie, that these characters were these characters. Hello, Yuki. Oh my god, it was just such a great film. And if you have not seen it in theaters, watch it in theaters. I know some people are hesitant to go to theaters. I get that. But theaters are probably one of the few places that you need to be hesitant, because you're going to be separated by strangers pretty easily. Especially, I went to a smaller theater and every seat was filled, but the seats were at least, like, they were pretty far apart. And I went with my friends, of course, so we were pretty much fine. But just wear a mask in the theater. There are only two negatives I have about this entire film. Maybe three. I'm trying to remember what the third one I had was. No, actually, I only have two. The first one is, it's kind of long. Like, for some people, it felt like it just went by. For me, there was a point, there were some points where I was like, okay, this is going on a little long. But even if it was going on long, I was still, like, hooked. Like, there was never a part where it was like, I was just kind of tired, because I saw a little bit of a later showing. I think I saw it around, what time did we see it? 6:45. So we got out of the theater around 10 o'clock at night, and I was kind of tired. But it was like, there was never a part where I was bored or like tired of the movie, but there were parts where I was like, it's going on a little long, but I was still hooked. I was still like, okay, but I want to see what happens next. You know, it's like when you're binging something online on Netflix, which, even though I hate binging, I've done it before. You're binging a series and it's like 2 a.m. and you're like, oh man, I'm tired, but I want to see the next episode. I want to know what happens next. That's how I felt. The other problem I had with the film, and this one is a bit more of an actual problem, in my opinion. There were times where the sound, the music, was way too loud, and you could not understand what somebody was saying. Because they would talk like normal people would talk. I'm projecting more because I have energy, and I'm talking to you through a microphone. I want to make sure you're engaged and caught. But they were talking like political leaders would talk, like, okay, what shall we decide next, young one? And then the music would be like, bow, 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 bow. Oh, that was... I made myself cough. My cat is staring at my TV right over there for some reason. You silly kitty. I think she sees a bug. Anyways, back to Dune. It was beautiful. I loved the world building. I loved the character arcs. Let me just move that down a bit. It's really good, and I've already started implementing some of the Dune stuff into my story in my Dungeons and Dragons world, because that's the first rule everybody will tell you, is don't come up with your own thing. You're not a book writer. Well, there's not going to be a tier list today. I'm just talking about Dune. I'm going to talk about Dune and how good it was and how much fun I had with it, and whether or not I think this defeats Star Wars as the best sci-fi series. All right, that's what I'm talking about today. So no tier list, unfortunately. but I'm having Dune was so good. Like, I honestly, I want to watch it again in theaters, even though I got tired and there was like the part with the sound. I still want to watch again. There was only one thing that a lot of people were saying was a problem, and I watched it, and I guess because I knew going into it that this was something people didn't like, but I watched it and I was like, no, this is where it should end. Some people were saying that it just kind of ends abruptly, so I thought it would be like right when someone's about to punch someone and then it would end, or like someone falls off a cliff and the movie just ends there. But no, this movie ends at a pretty normal spot. Like, I was like, okay, the movie should end right around here, and then it ended and I was like, oh, okay, no, this is fine, this is good, this is fine. But maybe that's because I knew going into it how what's the word, how the ending would kind of be a little abrupt. And I get it, because it's based off a huge book series that has like a bunch of stuff going on in it. There's some visual stuff in this that, like, most of it is in a desert, of course, but there's some visual areas that are just like really beautiful outside just the desert. And there's this one creature in it called a sandworm, and when you finally see the sandworm, because you do get to see it by the end of the film, you're like, oh shit, that thing's fucking terrifying. Like, holy fuck. Like, they've showed you bits and pieces of it throughout the movie, but near the end you actually get to see the sandworm. I'm not going to show it on screen, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but it was beautiful. I can see why Legendary did not want this movie on HBO Max, and I honestly, I don't think Warner Brothers should have put it on HBO Max. I think they should have made it a in theaters only experience, because you need to see this movie in theaters. You feel the movie while you're in theaters. If I watched this on my TV, I would have been like, I need to pee, pause, and get up and leave. And I think that might have broken the experience just a little bit, just a smidge. There's something on my camera. Just a smidge, it might have broken the experience. But other than that, it was, oh my god, it was so beautiful. Like, there's this like, the whole movie revolves around this science fiction thing called spice, which on this desert planet, it's everywhere. Spice is literally just everywhere. You can just mine spice for days because it's part of the desert sand. And the locals use spice as like a hallucinogenic drug to kind of see like these visions of the future and the past. And the rest of the universe uses spice to travel throughout the galaxy. That's what allows them to travel throughout the galaxy. At least that's what the movie told me. That's how I interpret it. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I read about it. So it's literally like owning gasoline, more or less. And so there's this one empire who wants the spice, and the people on the planet don't mind them taking the spice so long as they don't ruin their like homes and livelihood. And it starts from there. It just starts there. I'm not gonna say anything more about it, but it's got some Game of Thrones politics, like really good Game of Thrones politics, and it's got a little bit of a Fellowship of the Ring feel to it, but a lot darker. Like, Fellowship of the Ring has some positive, like, very like, oh, look at this fantasy world with these dwarves and the hobbits and a wizard and a rogue and an elf, and oh, there's a big monster and some orcs. The first one, at least. The second and third one get a lot darker, but the first one has a little bit more of a fantasy element to it. This one already starts off a little dark, or pretty dark, because of the politics and stuff. They have this cool thing called shields, where you activate a shield on your body and it will protect you if something is moving really fast. Like, if someone tries to shoot you with a bullet, it'll block the bullet, or if someone swings a sword and hits you real fast. But if you move real slow, the shield won't protect you. So we've not really devolved, but we've changed our fighting tactics to use hand-to-hand bladed weapons instead of bullets now. Like, you know, in the modern day, we use bullets all the time, like pew 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 pew, but they're using like swords and blades. Even though it's a super futuristic sci-fi fantasy, it's kind of like the Jedis that use lightsabers, although you have to be more trained to use a lightsaber than these swords, I would say, because there's like huge armies of people who use swords, whereas in Star Wars there's like a few hundred maybe that use lightsabers. And if you see the title, you're probably wondering, does it dethrone Star Wars? Does this defeat Star Wars as the #1 science fiction or science fantasy series of all time? And the answer is no. No, it doesn't. There's a few reasons. One, it's the first movie. All right, if this one is good and then the rest are trash, then we'll just remember that the series is trash. That being said, I don't think the next one will be trash. I have high hopes after seeing this. I have so many high hopes. And like I said, I want to read the books now, which I'm going to start probably doing right after this stream. So in like a couple hours. The other thing is that Star Wars is so ingrained into our culture, and we've had it for so long, and it's had so many movies. It's really going to be hard to dethrone Star Wars as the best science fiction series. That being said, when they finish this story will probably defeat the original story as something really popular, because this is like Lord of the Rings but space. It's like space Lord of the Rings mixed with a bit of Game of Thrones element to it, and it's really good. It's really good. It's so good. Like I'm saying, you have to see it in theaters. You cannot skip this one in theaters. You are going to be so mad at yourself because it is so beautiful in theaters. The only problem with it being in theaters is that the length, you have to sit there the whole time. But any adult with a normal attention span should be able to sit there for about 3 hours. And the other problem is that there's no subtitles. If there were subtitles for this film, it would be perfect to see in theaters. I'm not even lying to you. There's like just a few, and it's not even that bad. There's only like a few times where I didn't understand what's happening, or I didn't hear. I understood what was happening, but I didn't hear what the people were saying. But I understood enough of it to follow the story well, and for the story to grip me. It literally in the first 15 minutes, it was like some hooks came out and just grabbed me by the chest, and I couldn't stop watching. It was so beautiful, and if you guys, please, I am begging you to watch this film. Don't watch it on HBO Max. I'm so mad that Warner Brothers put this on HBO Max now. I'm so mad. They have this cool thing called a Chris knife, which is it's like the people who live on this desert planet. I forget the name of it, but I know that they're called the Fremen. Who live on this desert planet with the spice. They are these giant sandworms, like I talked about, and they will take teeth from the sandworms and turn them into these white blades, and they have these other names for the sandworms on this planet. They call them the Shahi Hulud, which can mean a lot of things, like the Great Maker, the Maker Worm who is God. It's just got this huge, wonderful fantasy sort of feel to it, but it's in space. I mean, you're mostly just on this one planet, but it's still, pretty much you're in space, and it is beautiful. This is one of those things where Jason Momoa, I think this is one of Jason Momoa's best acting moments, and he's only gotten better with every film he's done. Space, the final frontier. Exactly. And here's the thing with Jason Momoa, he's just gotten better and better and better with his acting. I think everybody can agree to that. Like the first thing most people saw him in was Game of Thrones, then Aquaman or Justice League, and now this. And I don't even count Justice League and Aquaman because that was like that's super comic booky and heavily involved studio messing around with, But from Game of Thrones to this, I believe his character so much. Like the character he has, it was so good. We also get Dave Bautista. And I got to see Dave Bautista do something other than playing Drax or being in a comedy. And his character, I'm like, Dave Bautista's getting better. He's getting better too. He's not like amazing, but he's getting better. And then everybody else was just either amazing or super solid. And the only reason I say some of them were super solid is because we didn't get a lot of them. Like Zendaya, spoilers real quick, spoilers. Zendaya's not super in the film. She's in the film. She's important in the film. But her character hasn't taken its place yet in the film as someone who's interacting with the other characters much. She does a little bit, but not much, so I don't get to really see how good her acting is yet for this film. That being said, everybody else, just really great job. I believe this world. I want to read this world. I want to finish the story. It's great. Please watch it in theaters. Please. Oh my God. It's just... this movie would be doing so much better domestically if it wasn't on HBO Max. I guarantee you that. I mean, it's doing well. It's making $40 million, but I think this movie deserves at least $100 million. I really just domestically too. I know that overseas, internationally, it's making like 200 million, which we should never say that 40 million is just 40 million. I mean, Legendary spent a lot of money on this movie, which is why they did not want it to be on HBO Max only. You remember when Warner Brothers almost pulled that shit where they were like, we're going to put all our movies in 2021 on HBO Max only, and we're not going to put a single movie in theaters? No, you idiots. Legendary was so pissed at them for this. Christopher Nolan was pissed. Remember what Christopher Nolan said? Oh, dude, he was like, look it up. Look at what he said about HBO Max and Warner Brothers. It was, I busted a gut from seeing him say like, oh shit, you got burned by one of the greatest directors of the modern day. Oh my God. But yeah, I'm so glad that they didn't put it on only HBO Max. So this movie would not have done as well as it could have done. And we might have missed out on such a great story. Oh my God. I am loving it. I really want to see it again. I want to see what I missed. I want to read the books now. Oh my God. It just like the visuals were beautiful. I've said enough. I can't say any more. I really can't. This movie was great. Go watch it in theaters. Seriously. I get it. If you're scared or you really can't go to the theaters, obviously don't go. But if you're just a little scared and you're like, I don't know if I should see it, go see it. Go see it. If you like Game of Thrones, go see it. If you like Harry Potter, go see it. If you like Star Wars, go see it. If you like Lord of the Rings, go see it. Trust me, I know all those people would like it because I love Star Wars and I like Lord of the Rings and I saw it and I loved it. Claire likes Harry Potter. Claire likes Lord of the Rings. And she saw it and she liked it. All right. I mean, I love all the series I just mentioned, but she, like, get it. If you are into pop culture stuff at all, you have to see this film in theaters. It is worth it. You will thank me later. Anyways, I'm going to thank you guys for watching this video. Please comment down below if you've seen it. Click that subscribe button and click that like button, and we'll see you next time.